Hello, Brave Awakened Ones. This is Veronica of Higher Realm Holistics, certified holistic integrative health nurse, spiritual counselor and guide, lightworker Sherpa, author of the children's book How the Caterpillar Flew. Firstly, thank you very much to my subscribers and Patreons and supporters. Appreciate you guys. And thank you everyone for the lovely, kind words and words of congratulations and support for my book signing that I had yesterday. Yeah, today's Sunday, so it was yesterday in Atlanta. So as you can see by the skies that I'm in Florida. We'll be home pretty soon. Traffic is thick though. So, so I'm headed back home right now. But as I'm driving, my mind's just wandering, not for nothing. I'm exhausted, feel like I'm crashing. Hopefully, I'm actually just going to stop at my office to meditate real quick underneath my copper pyramid to rejuvenate myself after the experience in Atlanta with the heavy, heavy energy. So yeah, I need to rejuvenate myself, and I'm like being guided to commune with Ra to help rejuvenate myself and to get some information. And real quick, want to remind you guys on Saturday, the 23rd, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm having my very powerful meditation, virtual meditation, healing circle, tapping with Reiki. So if you're interested, you could register at higherrealmholistics.com. It's $22 for it, okay? It's really good. Everyone really likes it, and it's been very powerful. So this is the 17th of March, Sunday, 2019. As I'm driving along the Florida Turnpike in a haze because I'm exhausted from driving, I saw this bumper sticker on the back of the car that says, "Vote for number 4." I have no idea what the heck that means. And all of a sudden I got a download. Very interesting download. And I was told to make sure to say, for those who I've spoken to as clients recently in reference to them and government and trying to get the words out, what's in store for the world, what's in store for the new 4D, 5D, positive 4D, 5D Gaia in reference to quote-unquote government. I got a really nice description because it's like I had a quick remote view while driving. And because I was like, why are you showing this to me now? And they said, because they're hammering it out right now, quote unquote. That's what I was told. They're hammering it out right now. So it's like I was privy to a quick sneak peek to a meeting that Trump and some other people are having at this very moment in reference to what our quote-unquote government is going to soon be evolving to. I had given you guys a timeline because now's the great purging and more stuff is coming out, as you know. Believe me, of course, this is just barely the beginning. March is, I know Q calls it March Madness, and I've been saying, once that portal energy starts opening on the 19th of March, the equinox energy, that's going to give enough positive energy to flush a lot of the rats out, the cockroaches and the rats out of their hiding place. Wow, as I'm saying this amazing bird, wow, this huge, beautiful bird just went by slowly by my windshield. Any which ways, so that yeah, so what's being hammered out, what they were just discussing in reference to this, and he was discussing it with these other, like, some of them were higher, like part of the alliance. They were higher beings, let's put it that way, and they looked like they were in human form. Yeah, because I'm still getting a visual of it because I was listening to their meeting. I was remote viewing the meeting, and instead of using old terms like Senate representative and House, the House and the Senate, and governors and mayors and presidents, it's going to be mediators. So like I'm going to give what I heard them discussing when it comes to the mediators. What the mediators are going to do is to express the wishes of the community. Say there's something that needs to be done, okay? Like say there's a road that needs to be rebuilt. So the people that the road affects in the community, they get to all vote on it. Like instead of the power being with the one person like it is now, like you go and you cast a vote for your representative or your governor, your mayor, your president, right? And that person has absolute power. That you think they're supposed to represent you, but they're supposedly representing the majority, but then it's like, 51% they're representing and the 49% have no voice. But even the 51% who think they have a voice really don't have a voice at all, because those people, those representatives that you voted for in the current government structure, they have absolute power. And in 3D and negative 4D, absolute power, you've all heard this, absolute power corrupts absolutely. Okay, very few get away with being corrupt, get away with not being corrupted, but then they run and leave like a Cynthia McKinney, they're forced out because it's a swamp. It's totally corrupted. It's a rat's nest. Because the most disgusting thing to me is a rat. It's a rat's nest or a roach's nest or something like that. So because of that, and that energy is no longer will be supported with Gaia's new energy and the beings on Gaia's new energy. That is no longer viable. So the new viable system is for everyone to have a voice. For example, if a road needs to be fixed or built, everyone will cast a vote on what it is, and then that mediator will be the one to go through it. Okay, they'll be the ones to go through the votes and see, okay, like 60% of the people want it done this way and 40% of the people want it done that way. I'm going to come up with a plan and present it to everyone and see if it's a viable plan until a good consensus is reached. And because we will be vibrating higher, those of us who make it through the ascension at that point, the years that I see this coming through, that I was shown, is by 2024, that this new government structure, government quote unquote, is in place. This new government structure is in place by 2024. So again, that mediator, it's like a job that you apply for, basically, that everyone's like, okay, what is this guy's or this girl's credentials? And they're hired. And as easily as you are hired, you can also be fired. There's no 4-year, 8-year term, whatever terms. No, it's, you mess up, you're fired. Okay. So that's the way it is. So the concerns of the collective in a particular area is brought to they're like everyone comes together. It's almost like going back to like tribal. That's the way I see it, for lack of a better word. It's like everybody comes together and a consensus is reached. And because we'll be vibrating higher, consensus will easily be reached, because everybody by that time will be vibrating to the point where it is service to others. And when I say service to others, don't misconstrue. You must put the oxygen mask on yourself first before helping somebody else. Again, it is not about martyrism. A lot of people, especially people who are light workers, some light workers, I should say, there are many light workers out there who totally misunderstand the term and get it twisted, thinking, unconditional love means, you are a doormat with no boundaries whatsoever, and anyone could take a piece of you and you're left with nothing. That is unconditional love without wisdom, which is stupidity. Plain and simple. That is unconditional. Unconditional love does need wisdom. It's like a child needs boundaries. Just because you put a kid in timeout does not mean you don't love them unconditionally. Just because you don't allow somebody to run buckshot over you does not mean you don't love them unconditionally. And people who are looking for that are the ones who want to cross boundaries, or the ones who want to take advantage, or the ones who want to be spoon-fed, or the ones who are needy, or the ones who are greedy and selfish, plain and simple, and immature, and need to grow into maturity by understanding boundaries, by understanding the wisdom of unconditional love. Y'all say you want to get more esoteric and deep, I'm going to give it to you. And those who I don't resonate with, that's fine. I don't resonate. You're not ready for me, or I'm not the one to deliver the message to you, that you need it delivered in a different way. And that's all right. I'm all good with that. So again, when it comes to what our quote unquote governing body is going to look like, it's more of a mediating body where we get to vote on different things, and everyone will be more than willing to do that. One person is not just voted in for like an office term where they're easily corrupted. That system will no longer be supported, because the lower energy to support that system is no longer going to be around. It's no longer viable now, but now is the cleanup time, and I said this before, I've been saying it since 2018 when I started making these videos. This is the time for it. And the equinox energy of the 19th of March is when the gateway is open enough for the normies, as some people call them, I call them Earthians, start being affected by that energy, the awakening ascension energy. Us light workers, we've been affected by those energies for a while, because we had to get ready to help the collective. This is the point where, again, people are the gates are going to swing open. This is the moment we've been waiting for, where there's going to be enough energy to hit the normies, the Earthians, to help them jolt awake, to help them cross over, hopefully. And that time period is called the Great Separation, or the Great Harvesting, according to the raw materials, the Book of One, the raw materials. According to Ra, that is when the harvesting is also taking place. The harvesting. That's what the harvesting actually means. It's those who are like on the border that still have a potential for this energy to affect enough to jump over to the 51% mark in order to be harvested for ascension between March 19 of 2019 to to 2022. I don't know when in 2022 that period is over, but the gate closes slowly but surely. So the earlier they get in, the easier for them. And even some straggler light workers who, need to get their shit together basically and need to trust themselves at this point and have the ego take the back seat, which is the lower vibrating self, and allow the higher self, which is the higher vibrating self, to come in and take over. And that has to do with surrender and trust. And surrender and trust, being the conscious observer of what's going on. Okay, so hope you guys understand what I'm saying. I'm tired, but if I don't get this message out, quite honestly, I don't even have the strength to write it down to remember to do it later. So I need to get it out while it's fresh, especially when it's a remote view, because it comes and goes, and I have to get out what I'm hearing and seeing immediately. All right, so that's pretty good news, right? I know there's a lot, like right now, news broke when it comes to a couple of actresses, famous Hollywood actresses, that were paying off, colleges in California to take their kids and to fake SAT scores and things like that. Uncle Jesse's wife from Full House. I was like, dang, really? But like Liz Crokin, she's great. Like Liz Crokin said, and I had a feeling too, I'm like, why those two women? And it's because everyone thinks, these two women, they're on the Hallmark Channel, they're on, Lifetime, and, they pay these, they have these spotless sort of images on TV and on screen and off screen. They're supposed to be like spotless, right? Yet one of their daughters, the time their mom was being picked up for this fraud and racketeering, was on one of those yachting parties in LA, where basically you're being prostituted to these wealthy men, you're being kept and stuff like that. Trust me, I know. I was in the scene in LA. Not that I participated. I got pissed off at a friend of mine I basically felt like trying to pimp me into it. I freaking took her to the bathroom. I whipped her ass for that one. To a 72-year-old doctor who owned a pharmaceutical company, then to some Italian who owned an airline. Ugh. And it's not just LA, people. It's South Florida. In the hospital I worked in South Florida, in Fort Lauderdale, I literally was standing there, and the head of anesthesiology, the head of cardiology, and head of respiratory doctors literally started bidding over me. It was my first day there. The other nurses thought it was such a freaking, they thought it was an honor and called me stupid and ignorant, and because the highest bidder was 10 grand for a weekend cruise, a yachting cruise. Oh, you don't have to sleep with him. You don't have to do, that's what you always hear. Be smart. You don't have to sleep with them. They just want a beautiful woman on their arm, which is what I just want a beautiful Caribbean woman on my arm when I go to the Caribbean. And another nurse ended up going. She apparently she got 5,000, but it's like regular. And the same thing happened in New York City, to the point where I lost my mom. I was signed with the number 5 modeling agency in New York City, and I was making enough money to support myself and my daughter and pay for college and pay for a car and a nice condo, and my contract didn't get renewed because I wasn't playing the game. They do pimp you out. And when I was in Europe, in Brussels and in London, same thing. This German agent, she tried to pimp my ass out, told me I was going to a party, and there was some down in this basement, and it was all lavish looking with these much older white men, British men. It was the same thing. I was supposed to be meeting some important people in the agency, but none of them had anything to do with modeling. they all were wealthy businessmen and bankers and stuff, and I was like, no. I ended up walking. I was in Piccadilly Circus, and I took the tube, as they called it. Thank goodness I'm a New Yorker. I know subways. So I took the subway back to the hotel where I was staying. And she was so pissed at me. She took my ticket to Frankfurt, where I was supposed to be doing a fashion show, and I ended up going to Brussels, and she stole my ticket and left me stranded there, where these nice people took care of me, thank goodness, because she was trying to do the same thing to me in Brussels. So I'm very well aware of that whole environment, people. I know all about it, and it's all over the world. It's all over the place. It's 3D life, and people think nothing of it. You know, even my own daughter was like, Mom, you're stupid. It's not like you have to have sex with them. You should have just taken the $10,000. My own husband at the time told me I should have taken the 10 grand and gone. Blew my freaking mind. I'm getting hot, sweaty, and itchy thinking about it, getting all upset. Let me stop talking. Well, just to let you guys know, you know, all that stuff is going to come out, it's coming out. It's coming out. So it may be a shock for the normies, for the earthians, but shouldn't shock you guys. Mostly, it could be a little surprise, but you know, it's just coming up. So it's just about you guys, the same way I'm sharing with you guys, be like, hey, listen, this is 3D life. This is what they call normal. People, you're crazy if you don't take advantage of the situation. Use it before you lose it. That's all I keep hearing. Use it before you lose it. So yeah, guys. Things are going to look up. You know, they may look like they're getting worse, but it's actually getting better. The healing process is the most painful process in medicine, you know? Healing process is actually the most painful process. You have to get out all the garbage before you could actually heal, and we're just flushing out the garbage right now and scrubbing the wound to get all the dead flesh out, get all the pus out. That's what we're doing right now, and it's gonna hurt. Because we just opened the wound. Let's put it that way. We just did the incision. Now we're starting to do the drainage. Okay. So, all right. If anyone's interested in my services, go to higherrealmholistics.com for my book, How the Caterpillar Flew. Haha, you guys are gonna die laughing. I am just passing a trailer right now, and the back of it has the Punisher sticker on it. For any of you guys are thinking of, what is that? Cute, right? We all know what the Punisher means. How funny is that? Right in front of my face, the Punisher sticker. That is a trip. All right, y'all. Peace. Lady V out. We have the victory already. Okay? Love you guys. Namaste.